right, well, let's go ahead and get started. It's 2:05. We did have a few more people register, but things come up, so let's move ahead. So thank you for joining us again today. And today we wanted to focus the conversation on programming for school-age children. And, you know, full disclosure, as we said at the beginning of these breakout sessions, I'm afraid I don't have a whole lot of information to share with you. We're just the conveners. So this is an opportunity for you all to share what you know, ask questions, and see if you have any answers. If there are questions asked, resources sought that the group can't provide, you know, Ben and I and Wendy will try to research that afterward and get it back to you. But who would like to start? Well, this is going to be a short session.
I can start by saying we have no ideas, and we do have to run at least a 2-week children's program, 6 to 13, and we are struggling with ways to keep the kids engaged virtually because we are going to be virtual probably through July. And unlike the teens who can get on themselves, the kids have to have the parents to help them, and they've just finished having to do virtual school. And so I'm just looking for ideas of ways, any suggestions on how to engage them for at least 2 hours a day for 2 weeks.
Maybe I'll open it up, just back up a little bit from Cheryl's question. Can you please let me know if you're on video, you can just raise your hand or nod your head, but otherwise if you can raise your virtual hand, if you're planning on providing some summer programming this year?
Virtual or
either
virtual?
way.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a few people on the phone who, okay, maybe they're still trying to find their virtual hands, which is at the bottom of your screen under reactions. Thank you very much. So some of you didn't raise your hand, and so maybe you're just looking, you're still thinking about it. For those of you who are planning to do some kind of programming, is it all virtual, or are some of you actually thinking about in-person camp?
All virtual for us.
Joette, virtual? Yeah. Jennifer, how about you guys?
Yeah, we're actually trying to figure out how we could do either a little bit of both, or I mean, the best situation would be in person. And we have told our parents we have a very small camp, and right now, if we're going to have camp, they're going to come. So we're going to try our best to try and do that, depending on where we are in July.
Yeah.
Remind me where you are, Jennifer? Which state?
We're in Eastern Pennsylvania.
Okay, great, thanks. Ben, will you post that article from Nancy Miller about family involvement? If you were on the call yesterday about transition programming, Nancy Miller from Visions in New York City talked about how, you know, some of the most direct advice I've heard that they have received in New York is that if you are still considering an in-person camp, that one of the safest ways to do it is to have the family members there. You know, somebody from the family actually participate in the camp with them to assure that they can maintain physical distancing and a number of other things. And this is not just for our kids who are blind and visually impaired. This article refers to, you know, lots of different types of camps, but I think it can hold true for what we're trying to do too. And the challenge, I think, for that is even greater now because of what you mentioned, Cheryl, is families they're just finishing up a long period of homeschooling. And, you know, I think they're probably tired, but I mean, they're going to have the kids anyway.
Yeah.
So getting them to participate in a virtual or an in-person. It could be a challenge. On the other hand, they're going to have them anyway. Although here in Florida, they're opening in-person regular camps.
Oh, yes, they are. They are. And, you know, our problem is multiple, but the counts are going up every day. So we're not even looking at it till the count of COVID starts going down. But transportation, you know, we provide transportation for the kids, and we can't do it under social distancing. And we did a survey to see if parents would be willing to bring them in. It's a rural county that we have our children's program in, and they wouldn't. So we are really, you know, forced to do virtual. It's just, you know, you gotta, I think yesterday on the call, somebody mentioned object ed, and that might be some things to look at, but you've got, it's, you know, keeping a 6-year-old's attention for 2 hours is a lot different than a teenager.
Right.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think I was the one that brought up objective ed, and so
Yeah.
you can't do that for your entire camp, but I
No.
think there's probably some fun things there that you can do.
Mhm. I've seen some in our area, I've gotten emails like from our children's museum about a virtual camp, and somebody's doing a virtual basketball camp, and somebody's doing a virtual art camp.
A
And I thought,
virtual basketball camp.
yeah, I don't know how that's all working, but I thought maybe we could incorporate some of that, but I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
not sure. I'm open for any ideas if anybody has. We have
So
to
have
do,
any of you started to construct your curricula for a virtual summer program for school-age kids? If so, we'd love to hear from you and what you're thinking. Be brave. We're all doing the best we can. Nobody's going to criticize you, I promise. I won't let them.
This is Allison from Delta Gamma Center in St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Allison, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. Cheryl, I don't really have any answers, but I just want to say we're in the same spot. You know, we offer weekend programming during the school
Right.
year. So
we do too.
and during the summer, we've never offered camps. We do like an adventure trip where we gear the kids up all year to take that. So it's not even like we're transitioning ourselves from a regular camp to to something virtual. So we're starting with we don't have lesson plans or ideas because we haven't done it before. So it feels to me like a kind of a double hurdle. There's so much, and we just don't know where to start. We have done, since we have these monthly long meetings, we've done two Zoom calls. We had more participation, to be honest, than I thought we would, because I thought the kids would just be burned out. But these are kids who all already know each other. So, and if I'm being totally honest, I'm not sure for some of those children how many friendships they have that they've been able to maintain well during this time, given the other challenges that they face in maintaining friendships, So we had great participation, even from our youngest, like our 7, 8, 9-year-olds. We had good participation, but those meetings were like 40 minutes. They were short. So we're thinking about that for our camps and how long activities take and what we're doing with them. We haven't made decisions yet, but we started talking yesterday. Kelly, who's also on the call, is our program coordinator. And we started talking yesterday about how that structure might look. And I just don't know that we can have them fully engaged for that period of time. I think we're going to have to do something short and then say, go do this activity with your siblings or your parent or grandma or whoever's there, and then come back. Because I don't think it's possible. But we did things that did keep them engaged were, this is going to sound silly, but even simple games. Like we sent them ahead of time, we're going to play 2 truths and a lie. And so think about think about what yours are and what you're going to do. And they really had a great time. And I was surprised at how well they did, even with the, you know, those simple games that you might play around a campfire or what have you. But for the younger kids and our children who may be developmentally not all in the same spot, they needed to know ahead of time what was going to happen so that their parents could, or their siblings or whoever could help them get ready. That's all I've got.
What was the game?
Two truths and a lie.
Two trips?
Truths.
Truth. Oh, and a lie. Okay, gotcha. I think we've done that. But I'm not sure.
We had other ideas and we did different things with different age groups, but we even had, you know, they had to, so we're not taking our trips, which was devastating. We've taken a trip every year for 20 some odd years, and it's part of, you know, it's the culminating point of our program every year. So another activity we did was having each child bring something that they would have taken on the trip if we went, and then everybody had to guess what their thing was. We played 20 questions for that.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
But those were short, you know, those were for short sessions. Planning something bigger has got us, you know, I've got a little bit of that paralysis of there's too many options and I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Somebody said Perkins had some resources for.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to pronounce your first name. Micheka? Is that right?
Yes, Micheksa. How are you, everybody?
Very good. How are you? Are you with Perkins?
No, actually, I'm with Visions. So I work with Nancy Miller.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And thank you, by the way, for shouting her out. We're trying our best on our end. I actually used to work with the Youth Services Department. So currently I'm doing the Vision Rehab Therapy and O&M part.
Okay.
I have been researching also things on Perkins as far as how they engage, because a lot of the programs that we're doing now are virtual, and we're still debating on making one of our familiar programs either virtual or in person. So I noticed that for the past months, we actually did a few of our pre-vocational programs online via Zoom, and the students were really engaged. I think with a good schedule and encouraging them to speak and having those breaks, we did it pretty much after the school day, from 4 to 6 for the I want to say freshmen and sophomores, to 4 to 7 for those who are entering college or just graduating high school. And I feel like it went well for us. So I'm actually in charge of trying to create a curriculum for the summer, our youth program, and I just came here for ideas to see what works and what doesn't work for everybody else. But I like the idea of having that two trips, 2 truths, 1 lie game. I think icebreakers really work. I also think, like I said before, having different components that we focus on, such as RT, mobility, having them engage in those sessions really help too. So that's just my suggestion.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I just typed in the link to Perkins. I do see that they have some online classes for educators there. So take a look. There might be other places on their website too. And it was on my to-do list to do before today, but I ran out of hours before to-dos and didn't get to it. And that is to check out APH. APH has tons of tools. And if you still have quota dollars left, some of the resources you can purchase, but I used to purchase the classes, and they do have online. I don't know if they have a whole curricula because I just didn't have time to look, but I would sort of be surprised if they did it. So don't forget about them. Everybody's familiar with APH, right?
Yeah. So it kind of seems like we haven't built the plane yet.
No, we haven't. What are we going to do? We're going to fly a kite this summer instead of fly a plane.
This is a tough age group. It really is.
Yeah. And I think the point that my St. Louis, fellow St. Louis people were making about just keeping the time short,
Yeah.
I think is invaluable. I can't sit through more than an hour-long meeting, or my productivity and brain capacity drops significantly.
Right.
So
Well,
yeah,
Ben's technically still a kid, so.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's really true, Ben.
So anybody else have something they'd like to share or a question you'd like to ask? Don't be shy.
I'd like to ask about the pre-vote programming that I'm expected to do with the New York State Commission. Would like us to have successfully employed people who are blind be part of the interaction in these programs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wondering what your suggestions are for making that kind of presentation. It's one thing when they're face to face and they can watch the person command the moment and be in the classroom and demonstrate their equipment or talk about the job they do and so on. But virtually, I'm kind of worried about it. Any suggestions on how to make that more engaging?
I have a suggestion, actually. You can try a virtual career panel and have them come and speak to the students that way. We actually did that for our pre-vote, and the children were really engaged. We invited people from different outlets to come and speak. So a virtual career panel, and have the children and have the students, I should say, prepare questions beforehand. So hear them talk to them about interviewing, dressing for success, because that can be done virtually.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Good idea.
we're also including some employers in that to have them come and talk about their job. This is for the teenagers, the 13 and up. But also Career Connect, if you need to find mentors, they have that mentoring page of people that are blind or visually impaired that are willing to do that.
On AFB, I've been doing research on there, and it says page not found.
For Career Connect? Lee?
I don't know, I'll have to check it out. I thought it was still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, AFB still maintains Career Connect. A lot of it went to APH, but they still have Career Connect. So I'll make a note and check with them. I would also reach out to ACB.
Yeah.
Headquarters, ACB and NFB, and see, they have, hundreds of people
Mentors.
who have had fabulous careers and would really like to do that mentoring.
Thank you.
What else?
So I would like to know, there are so many places that you can tour virtually, Google Travel and so on. And, they're offered as cool virtual field trips, but they're not very accessible to people that are completely without sight, low vision, manageable. Has anybody had good experiences taking classes on those to help explore places?
Like a tour of the zoo?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking like a virtual tour of the zoo or a park or something?
Yeah, like a museum or a place in Brazil
Yeah, we have. I don't know. I can't say they haven't done it, but we've talked about it. But you're right. It's very visual.
Very visual. And I've looked into places that promise or promote that they have very described details. But what I found is it's mostly the program that you would get if you were a tourist visiting that spot. So it's, describes page 3 is a map of the mansion or whatever, and that's not helpful.
No.
I wonder if AFB has any, or anybody's put up any websites that are great for tours. ACB, NFB, AFB.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that actually, I don't know the details of what NFB is doing, but ACB, American Council of the Blind, and NOAA are conducting virtual conferences this summer.
Mhm.
And so
NFB is too.
NFB is as well. Yeah. So I'm guessing they probably have already figured some of that stuff out. Maybe they can share that you guys could use for your summer programming.
Mhm.
At least have some suggestions.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, it's a massive undertaking. In a very short amount of time, these organizations have had to pivot from, and their conferences, if you've never been to one of these national conferences, they're huge. They're 8 days long and
Mhm.
thousands of people. So, you know, I'm planning on attending their virtual ones to see how they do it.
But
But
I
in the
know,
meantime, I could share resources, I'll bet.
I know in Florida, I don't know about any other states, but both our ACV group and our NFB group have weekly chats, different topics and things like that to keep their members engaged. And you might look and see if there's a group doing it in your area that
Yeah.
could talk. They could maybe do it where they could talk to the kids.
And I don't know if, Joette, if you were on that call where she offered this, and is anybody on the call from Leader Dogs? I'm trying to remember her name, but they have offered, they typically do an in-person summer camp at Leader Dogs in, I think it's Rochester, Michigan. And they have offered to provide a component of their virtual camp to be part of your summer programming too. So if you want to reach out to them. Do you remember her name, Ben? From Leader Dogs?
I was not on the call yesterday, unfortunately.
Yeah, she's offered it a few times, but I you know what? I'll go on, look up my email and get you the information and put it in chat.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can say we've set up a Facebook group to help continue this discussion beyond these individual calls. So if you guys have ideas in the future, we'd love it if you could join that. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat now. And just click request to join and I'll accept you.
Okay.
Yeah, but we want this to kind of, you know, this is a community of members who are all trying to figure it out. So this is a place where you can kind of go to get ideas, bounce ideas off each other. And there's now Facebook has meeting rooms, so you can meet right in that platform if you want to with other group members, all of that.
Also, so that information about the Leader Dogs offer is in what Ben already posted in the chat. The resources that we talk about today and from previous calls is all in this spot. So if you go to that Google Drive, you'll find the information about summer camps and talk to them. You know who to talk to there about that.
Yeah. I just reposted it again, so it's fresh on your chat.
Okay, well, I don't want to just keep you on here if you don't have anything else to share. So if not, I would encourage you to keep in touch with each other. And if you come across great resources, you know, please email them to us if you're willing to share, and we'll upload them into this Google Drive. And every time we get something, we're adding it.
Yes.
But check out APH too.
You know, the comforting thing for me is I'm not alone. We're all trying to figure this out together. And, you know, sometimes you feel like, well, why don't we have this? And we chose to tackle the teens first and then tackle the kids. But I'm glad that we're all kind of, as we always say, figure out how to build the plane
As we fly it.
as we fly.
That makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, and
Right.
you know, for me to you, I so appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you for hanging in there and trying to figure this out. It matters. It matters a lot to these kids and these families. So best of luck.
Thank you for putting these calls together in the Facebook page.
Yep. Good.
All right.
Happy to do it.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, everyone.